it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about some new products from Lethal Cosmetics. They have some new brushes, and they also released 2 new palettes. So I'm going to use these brushes in the tutorial today. I'll talk a little bit about those later. And we're also going to take a close-up look at these 2 new palettes. All of this stuff is currently available. The prices vary for the brushes, but the palettes are priced at $52 US a piece. I know that's expensive for a 12-pan palette. Personally, I feel like these are worth it because I love these shadows. I think they're interesting, high quality, and really, really consistent. But you know, that's kind of up to a person by person basis, really, whether or not they're worth it. I will say it really is only worth it if you like all of the shades and you want this total package, because you can purchase all of these as single shadows as well. That's one thing I really love about Lethal is their custom palette options are top notch. If you fall in love with a handful of shades out of either one of these palettes, you can purchase those shades individually to round out your collection or to build your own little mini palette. And you can save a couple bucks with their affiliate codes. I don't personally have an affiliate code with Lethal Cosmetics, but whenever I shop on the site, I always use my friend Theresa's code from Theresa is Dead. Her affiliate code is garbage, and that will save you, I believe, 10% on the Lethal site. So keep that in mind as well if you're planning on placing an order. So we have the Metamorphosis and the Evergreen palettes. We're going to take a close-up look at each one of these. I'm going to show you the packaging, the swatches. I'm also going to do a tutorial using the Evergreen palette. Let's start with this Metamorphosis palette. This is really the more warm toned of the 2. So let's get up close and personal with Metamorphosis. The initial outer packaging that we're looking at here is a sleeve that slides over the palette itself. And when we look at the back of the sleeve, you can see all the shade names listed here. They aren't listed anywhere on the actual palette. So if you're interested in knowing the shade names, I would recommend hanging on to the sleeve or labeling your palette. As you slide the palette out, you can see it does have a little extra special design on the front, and then on the back are little holes so that you can pop out the magnetic shadows and swap them around. There is a mirror inside each one of these palettes. Then there are the 12 shadows inside. Like I said, there aren't shade names in here, but these can be swapped out really easily, so that's why they don't label the shades inside the actual palettes. This has a nice even split of finishes, although I won't say there are 6 shimmers and 6 mattes because I think one of these mattes is very, very satiny. So I would say 6 shimmers, 5 mattes, and a satin would be the most accurate description. Some of these shimmery shades are shifty. They do have some duochromes in here, which is pretty obvious once you see them swatched. Here are the finger and brush swatches of the Metamorphosis palette. This one feels very consistent between the finger and brush swatches. The performance stays really steady throughout this entire palette, and that definitely translates to eye looks as well. Lethal shadows have that really, really sweet spot of being bold enough that the colors stay true on the eye, but they are soft enough that they layer and blend really easily. I find their eyeshadow formulas to be incredibly consistent and also very, very user-friendly. I can imagine anybody from beginners to well-seasoned eyeshadow users, makeup artists, thriving with this formula. As somebody who reviews a lot of makeup, that's something that I love to see because it makes it really easy to recommend a formula in a brand. Now let's move on to this Evergreen palette. Of course, the one in the green packaging. I'll show you some close-ups and swatches of this one, and this is the palette that I used in the tutorial for today. So you're gonna get to see this palette in action as well. Similar style of packaging here with the sleeve with the shade names printed on the back and this all over botanical type of print, but obviously we have a different colorway and a different leafy pattern here. I think this packaging and this theming is going to be appealing and really accessible to a lot of people. So I really enjoy it. I know it's not the craziest, most artistically innovative type of thing, but I really like it. The simplicity really suits the color stories and the overall vibes. I just think this has a great mass appeal without being really bland and boring. Now, this color story I feel is a little bit more out of the box, probably a bit more different for most consumers. The toasty reds and oranges of the Metamorphosis palette are more likely in the comfort zone of a lot of people, or at least more likely to be similar to other things that most of us eyeshadow lovers already have. This one is a great mix because it has that little pop of purple. There's neons, there's greens, there's blues. We have a little tempering of neutrals. There's some warm tones, there's some cool tones. This has really a lot going on. My really only complaint with this palette is I do feel a couple of the shades are too similar to one another. Basically, I think the two metallic blues are too similar, and then those two deep teal / hunter green mattes at the very end are a little bit too similar. Just swapping out one of each of those shades would have really made a big difference for me, because especially the metallic blues stick out like a sore thumb to me, that they're just going to look so similar on the eye. Obviously, if you put them side by side, you could see some differences in those two shadows. But once it's applied to the eye, I just feel like it's a little bit too similar for me. I would have loved a shimmer version of this acid yellow neon green type of shade called Profusion, and another really deep dark matte shade that was just a little bit different, maybe a really really dark navy or a super dark eggplant purple or dark deep like blurple royal purple type of color would have been perfect for me. But overall, still really love the color story. Those are kind of minor tweaks I would have made. I also want to show you these brushes. They are so soft. I used them in the tutorial and they were just such a dream to blend with. I definitely see myself reaching for the eye brushes more than the face brushes, but these are very luxurious brushes. Now that you've seen these palettes close up, I want to show you a quick tutorial using this Evergreen palette, and I'll kind of wrap up my thoughts along the way. First, let me start off by talking about the brushes. These are really lovely. They're completely vegan. They're super soft, and they definitely feel high quality, luxurious. I know they're expensive, but I would say for me personally, I'm going to use the eye brushes more than the face brushes. So my recommendations are the 210 blending brush, the 215 shading brush, the 220 pencil brush, which isn't what I think of a pencil brush being. It's more like a little detailed, fluffy little blending brush. And then lastly, the 225 packing brush. Those are the ones that I really personally am going to use the most. All the brushes seem to be really great. I don't think you'll be disappointed no matter which brushes you're most drawn towards, but those are just my personal picks and my recommendations. Aside from buying all these brushes individually, they do have one big brush set bundle with all of their brushes that you can get a little bit of a discount on. I wish that they would put together some other little bundles, maybe some little eye bundles or like a little cheek and eye custom set where you can pick, I don't know, like 5 brushes or something, and they make a little custom bundle. Lethal, if you ever see this, I think that's a brilliant idea, and I think a lot of people would love that, and I personally know that I would love to shop that way, so just something to consider. I think the Evergreen palette performs a lot better on the eye than you may expect based on the swatches, because I do think the swatches looked a little bit less impressive compared to the Metamorphosis ones. But once you get these on the eye with some good brushes and a little bit of primer, they just look beautiful. They hold their color so well on the eye, no matter how many colors you mix together. These really retain their true color. The pigmentation is stunning, but not overwhelming. They just blend and diffuse together like a dream. I cannot sing the praises of these Lethal shadows enough. The neon, I really felt like did need that little bit of a white base to fully show off on the eyelids, but I think that's just the nature of shades like this. And overall, I am incredibly impressed with both palettes. If you're drawn to these, I think you will be equally as happy as I am with either or both of these new palettes. I really like this. I was just sort of experimenting. I wanted to push myself to pick the opposite of what I typically would pick. I didn't go full opposite because I didn't pick one of those metallic blues, and that's really the farthest out of my comfort zone. Definitely the neon and this deeper teal blue are not what I would gravitate towards. And I feel like this turned out really cute. I love this eye look. This is totally me, so fun. Probably no surprise because I almost always completely love everything Lethal does. I really enjoy both of these palettes. When I first got them, when I first opened them up, I really thought this Evergreen palette was going to be it for me. I love purples and greens, and I just really like this whole color story. It's really intriguing to me. The more that I have swatched and played with these, the more this one really pulls me in. I am a fall girl, and this is a very autumnal color story, and I really, really like this little olive green moment down in the corner. So just when I think that Evergreen's definitely going to be my favorite, Metamorphosis kind of sneaks up on me. I really like using both of these in tandem, kind of similar to the Odin's Eye Christmas palettes, where I really thought I was more drawn to one, but then using them together ended up being just a sweet spot for me. I would love to do some more looks with these probably after the end of the year. If you're interested in seeing a couple more looks, I could do like I did with those Odin's Eye palettes with another look from each and then a look using them together. If that's something you would be into, tutorial videos don't tend to be amazingly popular on my channel, which is fine. I totally understand it. I am definitely not a technique queen. I am not a makeup artist by any means. I just like playing with colors and putting shiny things on my eyes. Let me know if that's something you would be interested in, because that is something I would be interested in. But it would be a couple weeks because we got a lot going on. We got a lot going on this year for the rest of the year. Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about these products. Are you interested? Are you interested in the brushes, in either one of these palettes? Have you already ordered them? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Ooh. This stuff, doing great. Oh, this is so pretty. I love it. Do you have any idea how hard it was for me not to use this shade? A medium shimmery green like this, where it's not too light, it's not too bright, it's just that like medium shimmery green. It compels me. And I didn't use that or the purple. Okay? I used the neon and a blue. So I will be waiting for my award. Lifetime Achievement Award any day. I mean, this is kind of a greenish blue, but it's definitely more blue than this one, so I'm gonna count it. Just really catch me any day with a extravagant eye look on and barely any face makeup and a hoodie. That's my signature style. Remember like the early Lusterlux days? When Katie used to be called Lusterlux, she was my icon because she was ponytail, hoodie, and a full beat, and I was just, this is the type of influencer I need. There are so few OG beauty gurus that I still follow, and I just love her. It's dangerous to stan people. I just always enjoy her. I feel like I would be friends with her. Everybody needs a good parasocial relationship with at least one influencer, right? Live your dreams. I've had parasocial relationships with people I watched on YouTube, and then they actually became my friends. So where was I? I forget where I was in this review. Great. Nailing it. Oh, end of the year favorites have been a beast to tackle. Wish me luck. I still am not finished with my lists. I'm struggling. Wait until you see the eyeshadow palette one because it's literally all indie palettes. There's a couple non-indies, but it's almost entirely indie palettes. When I first, wait, take two. Oh, if that's something you would be interested in. I share Oh, I think my next video I have a green eye look too. I mean, this is kind of a blue, green, all over the place. It's definitely different. All right, I have to go do so many things. I'm gonna make a big dinner. I'm making a big Mediterranean spread. We have a friend staying with us for a while because his power is out. So he is staying with us. He eats really, really healthy foods. I'll use like veggies and chickpeas. It'll be meat-free. I love Mediterranean food. I love the idea of just tons of different dishes and you just kind of combine them, you know, scoop different stuff with a pita, put a little lemon and olive oil and seasonings and harissa and tzatziki and just all over everything and just mix it all up and eat it. That is my dream. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. Now I'm really excited. I like to make healthy food and I also like to make non-healthy food. I just like to make food. You know, it's a balance. Life's all about balance. All things in moderation, including moderation. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting all of my collaboration videos that I'm doing this month. And thanks for being so cool, cute, awesome, and just generally lovable. And I love your face, and I'll see you real soon in my next video, which will be posted really soon. All right, so stay tuned. All right, love your face. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.